She'd like to be a film star. She's a bit of a diva, really, so... Aren't you? Oh, yes. If she'd like to be famous, she would.
Hey, you got here fast.
Peter, as you know, I love you very much.
Are you breaking up with me?
I happen to know for a fact that Jason Segel prepared for that scene in what can only be described as an unpleasant and pornographic fashion, because I was privy to that, and I know it helped, even though I wasn't meant to be working that day.
Go on a vacation. Go to the Alps.
Alps.
Go to Stad. It's the best.
I could go to Hawaii.
And go to Hawaii. Go to Hawaii.
This is a disaster.
Calm down, man. Wait, why are you whispering? You're not following them, are you?
And that was a bit awkward, actually, so if you do want to change hotels, I quite understand.
No, I'm not changing hotels.
Stop following them. Just go back to your room, Peter.
They're gone.
Why are you looking for them?
I don't know.
You're acting like an idiot. Run. Get out of there. Go to your room.
What do you think they're doing?
I don't like to have affairs. I think that's wrong, because, well, not really wrong or anything, because morality is a construct, and it really don't really matter. But I just don't like it, because you think, you might think of that poor man being all upset. And in terms of heartbreak, like being spurned or rejected, I can't remember that happening lately. Like, if a relationship's only lasting 10 to 15 minutes, it's difficult to feel heartbroken when that person leaves, because you just think, well, you know, it's a nice 10, 15-minute relationship. Perhaps I'll learn to love again.
Mr. Snow, may I ask you a question?
Okay.
I want to please my wife here on our honeymoon, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Are you having difficulty sex-wise? Do you not know how to use this?
I know how.
Have you had sex before?
We can't.
Why?
Our religion.
Oh, right, because of God and everything. Hey, that's not going to be a problem, because God should be present in the bedroom. We just watched the turtles having it off on the beach. I nicked all their moves. I plagiarised the sex moves of amphibious reptiles. They said, Russell, have you had sex before? I went, yeah, I have done it with a girl. And they went, well, do you remember anything about it? I went, oh, yes, I've got this drawing. So they said, well, tell us about some of the sex moves you've done in your life, and tell Jack McBrayer as part of this scene. That was all improvised, all of that. They let you improvise loads.
Everybody, can I have your attention for 1 second, please? We have a very special guest with us here today. Please, let's see if we can get him up here. Mr. Alvis Snow, please. Come on. Share your gift.
Duty calls and all that. I'm trying to be incognito. It's weird. It's like work to me. This is no fun. Hey! Whoa, thank you.
Thank you, what a lovely introduction. What an eccentric and confident young man. I'd like to dedicate this song to a very beautiful woman that's here today. It's Miss Sarah Marshall. There she is. Look at her, blimey. Oh, there's ancient skies, I've had these wandering eyes, but you took me by surprise when you let me inside of you.
It could mean inside of you there is a deep spiritual light and a connection between all people. That's one angle of the song.
Oh, I long to be, is it wrong to be inside?
That's one aspect, but the other could be inside of you.
The restless find their dreams.
I love you.
You should try saying that to a human sometime. I'm engaged. Will you be my maid of honor?
You're maid of honor.
What's the matter with you today?
I think I'm in love with Hannah.
You got a better chance of stopping this wedding from inside than from another continent. And And they say that you can shorten this and wear it again if you like. Come on, man. If you're serious and you really want Hannah back from this guy, you're gonna have to do whatever it takes. Whatever.
I don't even know where to begin.
Now, when choosing your china patterns, you need to think about what type of entertaining you want to do, what sort of foods you want to cook. Here, look. Now, don't be afraid to mix and match. It's important, even with different styles and textures. What you want to do, stir up the table. Make it come alive with color and finesse. That is the goal. I was really good on my close-up, and then when we turned around, I kept dropping almost every take. I went through like 11 plates, I think, at that point. There was one take I just decided to trash all the plates. I was like, yeah, I just started slamming them down. Thank you very much.
Let the competition begin.
It's a tradition. It's funny, I get the short kill. It was fun. It was good to see the locals laughing at me. I don't think they realized it was a comedy, so they just kept picking on me all day. I didn't get the big one. They wouldn't let me do that. They were afraid I was going to hurt myself, I guess. But we had this sort of, it was pretty heavy. It was a plastic cable. At one point, I threw it over my head. It landed on my head. I was like whacked out. I thought we could go for a walk and work on the vows.
I've been working on them all week, and I think they're actually getting worse.
I'm crazy about you. I think about you all the time, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Really?
Really?
That's so generic.
Is she really going out with him?
I'd never seen anything as chaotic or as exciting and as rebellious. It was how I felt. You know, you just wanted to trash everything.
It was a right racket, you know, and you just thought, I could just about do that.
We'd formed a band then that night there, and then we formed a group. It's easy to form a group. It's all the rest that's difficult.
Every other band was on stage because they wanted to be rock stars. This lot were on stage because they had no choice.
On the one hand, we have the lad going down the pub with his mates, fooling around. On the other hand, we have the aesthete who's reading poetry.
None of them realize how strong and powerful the music was.
I didn't want it to sound melancholy. I wanted just to lock people's heads off.
Andrew Wyke. That's right. I'm Milo Tyndall.
Oh, yes. Come in. I heard a rumor that you wanted to marry her. That can't be true, can it?
Why not?
You can't marry her because she's married to me, unless I divorce her.
We're in love.
You're in love?
That's right.
It's called Sleuth, you know, and I'm in it, and I was in the original one.
Anyway, what about this divorce? She's never coming back to you, so why not just give her the divorce?
I think you get very angry, I would imagine, if your wife's lover turned up and starts giving you orders and telling you how it's all going to be. There wouldn't have been enough time to do an 90-minute picture. I strangled him in the first 2 minutes.
I've never heard of an Italian called Tyndall.
My father's name is Tindallini.
Now that's lovely. That's like a little bell. Why don't you go back to Tindallini? It suits you.
You think so?
What name do you act under, Tyndall or Tindallini?
Tyndall.
Why have I never heard of you?
You will.
That sounds threatening.
Does it?
Doesn't it?
You can read almost anything into all his exchanges, and it's really up to you to interpret.
Well, I was in the movie with Olivier originally. Larry Olivier was Sir Lawrence. We had never met, and before we started the movie, I got a letter from him saying, "You may be wondering how to address me when we meet." You know, this is true. And he said, "But you must call me Larry from the moment we shake hands forevermore," you know, and which was lovely. If you cut just 30 years later, I am Sir Michael Caine, Jude Law's Mr. Law. I mean, the idea that I would write a letter to him saying you may be wondering how to address me is preposterous.
Move it, Speed. It's getting ugly out there.